Hello pattern lovers, you're welcome and welcome back. It's yet another exciting tutorial, and in today's video we'll be making this beautiful top with a stylish collar. So if you're interested in learning how to go about the pattern drafting of this top and everything in between, definitely watch this video to the end. We will draft the back pattern first, just so we get the neckline, yeah. And this line you see here will serve as a shoulder line, and we are doing the back first. So this part will be the center back, yeah. And from that center back, I'll place my measuring tape on the shoulder line and mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll go down to the chest line, yeah. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to mark the shoulder measurement again on that point, then mark my chest line on this other end, just so I have a straight ruler when I use my ruler to connect the two like this. The next thing I'll do now is to mark my standard neck width, and once I have that, I'm going to come down here to 1 inch for the back neck depth. I'm using 1 inch for the neck depth here. Then I'll go ahead and use my ruler to give it a round neckline shape this way. Once that is done, I'll come down here to 1 inch for the shoulder slope and use my ruler to connect it to the neck width like this. Then I'll go ahead and measure from that shoulder slope down to the chest line, get the midpoint, and then once I'm done with that, the next thing we'll be doing now is to go ahead and get the shoulder to waistline. And because of my bust that of 1.5, yeah, I will be minusing 1.5 from my shoulder to the waistline that I will be using for the front, yeah. My shoulder to the waist is 16.5, yeah, but minus that 1.5 for the bust, that will be 15 inches. So the shoulder to waist that I'm using for this back pattern is 15 inches. Then once I have the waistline, I'm going to measure down to the hip line on both sides and then go ahead and roll it out this way. Now we have the waistline and then we have the hip line. Go ahead and do the same thing on your pattern. The next thing we'll be doing now is to go ahead and contour the center back if that is what you want here. If you want to, you can go ahead and contour your center back. Just come into ½ inch or 0.75 or even 1 inch, depending on what you are going with for your pattern. Then you take it all the way to the shoulder and take it to the hip line and you contour your center back like that. But I'll still be having a waist dart and a princess seam, armhole princess seam, so I'll just keep that. I'll take the bust measurement divided by 4 on the chest line. On the waistline, the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that will be coming later. And then on the hip measurement divided by 4. There is no that on the hip, we are not adding any that allowance. Then I'll curve from the bust width to that midpoint we got earlier on the armhole line. Now what I'm going to do is to mark my bust span, that is the nipple to nipple divided by 4, yeah. I'll mark it on the hip line and also on the waistline. Then for the dart length for the top, I will be using 5 inches. Then on that dart length, I'll be marking the bust span again. Then use my straight ruler to connect the 3 points out like this. Once that is done, the next thing I'll be doing now is I added 1 inch here as a dart allowance here. So that 1 inch divided by 2 is ½ inch. So I'm marking that ½ inch on both sides of the bust span line. Then for the dart length for the back, I will also be using 5 inches here. That's from the waistline down, 5 inches as the dart length. Then I'm going to give it a dart shape on both sides, upwards and downwards like this. The next thing I'll be doing now is to go ahead and give it the armhole princess seam, and I'll just take it to that length and it's looking like this. Go ahead and blend it in if there is need for that. And then the next thing we'll be doing now is to go ahead and get the blouse length. And to do that, I'm going to measure on this side seam here. I'll be going down 5 inches and that will be the length for that side. Then here on the center back, I'm going to start from the waistline and add 1 inch to what I have on this side. That's how the blouse length is going to be on the back here. And then that's pretty much about it. Now we are going to measure around this neckline, because that's the point of drafting the back neckline pattern first, just so we get that neckline. And I have about 3.25. Now coming to the front here, the first thing I'm going to mark is a borderline of about 7 inches. I recommend you do nothing less than 6 inches. So from the top of your paper, you're coming down to 6 inches at least, but I'm doing 7 inches for this pattern, yeah. And then once you're done with that, the next thing is to also mark a border line on the center front. This one we have here now will serve as the shoulder line, yeah. Then marking the one on the center front, yeah. To have it accurate, if you just want to know the calculation you should use without having to do a guesswork, you're going to use your bust span. That is your nipple to nipple without dividing it by 2, yeah. Without dividing your bust span by 2, you are marking it exactly. That means if your nipple to nipple is 7 inches, you are marking 7 inches here, then plus 1 inch button allowance. Once you mark it, you're going to check if what you have left will give you your measurement for your actual blouse. Do you understand? So what I'm doing marking here now is about 8 inches in total, 7 inches as my nipple to nipple, then the other 1 inch as the button allowance. And this line now will be the center front. Now from the shoulder line, I'll measure down to the bust point line first, then down to the waistline, and then down to the hip line. Yeah, the only difference from this and the back is that we are marking from shoulder to the bust point line, which we did not have on the back pattern. From shoulder to the bust point, from shoulder to the waistline, from shoulder to the hip line, then I'll go ahead and use my ruler to mark out the lines and then go ahead and label them bust point line, waistline, and then we have the hip line. Now the next thing we are going to do is to mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2 here on the shoulder line. Then we'll be coming down to the chest line. I forgot to mention that since this is sleeveless here, you can decide to like go up 1 inch from your actual chest line so that it does not expose your body much. But for comfort, I recommend that you use your exact chest line. But for me, I went up about 0.25 from my actual chest line. And yeah, that's what I have on this pattern. You mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2, you go down to the chest line and then you go ahead and mark it out as you see me do it here. Now I'm going to mark my standard neck width here on the shoulder line, and then I'll come down here to 1.5 to slope the shoulder. This is not a jacket or a blazer, so the shoulder is well sloped, so I'm using 1.5 for that. Next, I'm going to measure from that shoulder slope down to the chest line. I'll get the midpoint, then I'm going to mark the bust measurement divided by 4 here on the chest line. Yeah, and at this point you can decide to add about 0.25 for ease, or half inch if you want to, or otherwise just do your bust measurement divided by 4 there. Then you're now going to curve the armhole from that bust measurement to the midpoint we got earlier. Now I'm going to be marking the bust span divided by 2. Now you are marking your nipple to nipple divided by 2. I'll mark that on the bust point line down to the hip line and mark a straight line like this, connecting the 3 points. Now for the dart intake, I'll be doing 0.625 on the waistline on both sides of the bust span line. That is 0.625 and that is 1.25. Then for the dart length going down, I'll be using 6 inches. And from what I have from the waistline all the way to the bust point line is about 6.5. So yeah, that works. Then I'll go ahead and give it a dart shape like this. And then I'll take the waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1.25 dart intake. I'll replace that. Then come down to the hip line and take the hip measurement divided by 4. There's no dart intake there, so we are not replacing any dart. And then I'll go ahead and connect from the bust measurement to the waist measurement, and then from the waist measurement to the hip measurement, just like this. Next, we are going to be coming down here to the bust dart. You're using your own bust dart value. For me, it's the 1.5 I talked about while drafting the back pattern. And then I'll go ahead and just connect it to the bust span on the bust point line this way. And then go ahead and use my curve to give it the armhole princess seam just to that midpoint we got earlier on the armhole line. Do you understand? Now, because this is sleeveless here, you're going to come in here to half inch and blend it into the existing armhole curve we have here. And you're doing this because if you have worked with the sleeveless dresses before, you will know that if you do not do this, it's going to discomfort you. When you try to move your arm or you bend down, it's to be as if the fabric there is slicing into your skin, and you don't want that discomfort. And that is why you usually take out half inch from your shoulder tip, just so it's well blended and it sits well on your shoulder. And that's exactly what we just did. Then for the blouse length, you are coming down 5 inches on this side. Then for the front here, I'll be adding 2 inches to what I have on this side. Yeah, since I have 5 inches on this side, I'll be doing 7 inches on this center, just so that inverted V would come out well. Do you understand? Then on that point, on that length now, I'll be coming into 1 inch here, and then I'm going to be shaping the down part from that point. The 1 inch I have on the center to the 5 inches I have here on the side seam. Do you understand that? And then now to connect the inverted V, I'm going to measure from my waistline down to 2 inches. That is just where I want you to start. You can decide to do whatever it is you want. And then I'm going to just blend it into this 1 inch. We came in from the center front on the blouse length on this center front. Do you understand that? And it's looking like this. And the next thing we'll be talking about is the neck depth. we already have the neck width here, and you can decide to use your chest line if you want to, but for me, I'm going to measure from the shoulder line down to 8 inches, which happens to be my chest line too. So yeah, that would be my neck depth. And then from that point, I'll be going out from the center front to 1 inch here, and that will be the button allowance, depending on the size of the button you're working with and depending on your preference. But you should not be doing anything less than half inch as your button allowance. So I'll mark it all the way to that point where we start, where the inverted V starts, and it's looking like this. Can you see that? But then I recommend that you just blend that inverted V this way to the button allowance. It will be easier for you to work with it like this than having it the initial way we had it on the pattern. Do you understand that? Now we are going to connect in a V form to that neck depth, that button allowance. You're going to connect from that point to the neck width you have on the shoulder, but you're going to extend that line so that you can get the back neckline on that line. Can you see? And then I said I use my standard neck width here. You can decide to come into half inch or 0.25 so that it grips your neckline better. But I'm telling you that by the time you fold that collar, it's going to add to the neck width, making it look like a high neck or a built up neckline. Having said that, I'll be leaving my neckline like this here. Then on this line, which we have above the shoulder, I'm going to be marking that 3.25 measured around the neckline for the back here. Then for the collar width, from what I'm seeing, you're going to be doing a whole 5 inches so that by the time you fold it, you're going to have about 2.5 of that collar folded on the back neckline. Then measuring from that 3.25 we have on that line above the shoulder line, yeah, whatever it is I have there, I'll be adding 2 inches to that and mark it on this collar width. Do you understand? And connect it. You see how slanty it is looking, yeah? Just so it's going to, like, by the time you fold your collar, it's going to conform and not looking too tight there. And then now the next thing now we are going to do is to measure the distance between the neck depth to the bust point line, which for my case is 2 inches. I divide that into 2, then go ahead and highlight the line this way, and that is where the extended collar will be getting to. So what that means is that whatever neck depth you're using, you're just going down 1 inch from that neck depth, and that will be the length of the extended collar. And then what you are going to do now is to start from that button allowance and mark our bust span, your nipple to nipple. You are not dividing it into 2. And that's exactly what I have on this pattern because you already calculated that, yeah. And now after connecting it to the collar width we have on the shoulder, we are now going to place our curve like this and just blend it in, like curve it like this, and that's the shape of the collar you are going for. And yeah, that's pretty much about it though. That's just how you're going to go about this pattern. It's pretty much simple, and you can decide to cut out this collar the traditional way we do it for notched collars, or you just leave it like this. I recommend you even leave it, say there's no notch on the collar and there is no lapel, so I just recommend that you just leave it like this. But if it will worry you, go ahead and cut it out. But we have the center front, which you are cutting 2 pieces of that. We have the side front, you're cutting 2 pieces of that. And now let me show you how to cut this out. Even though the shadows here, just bear with me, I'm working on whatever it is you feel is wrong with this video, so just bear with me in the meantime. But this is exactly how you're going to be cutting out your pattern, yeah. You're cutting from the button allowance, the inverted V, and then all the way to this collar extension. And then here on the side front, you're going to slash the bust that, and then you're going to apply your water glue if that is what you're using, or basically place it on the bust point line, tape it down, blend in the side seam line, and then you simply cut the rest of the pattern out. And yeah, that's pretty much how you go about cutting the front pattern. Since we have it like this, you only have 2 pieces of this, yeah. But then if you cut out the collar, you're going to be having 3 pieces. Then for the back, we have side front, side back, you're cutting 2 of that. Then center back, you're cutting that on fold, except you want to have joining on the center back. And then you're also going to take out that half inch from the shoulder tip, just so it's the same width as the front, and for comfort too. That's the essence of us doing that. And then you go ahead and simply cut this out, and after cutting, you're going to match up the side front and the side back, and you're doing that from the waistline down and then from the waistline up. Where you have excess, take it out. I have about 0.25 excess on the armhole of the back pattern, so I just took it out. And then you're going to simply be adding your allowance, following all the outline you have on your pattern basically. But then if you're having 1 inch button allowance would disturb you, like confuse you on how to add your allowance, especially on that inverted V, do about half-inch button allowance, and then later you add just half-inch all around your pattern, and it's easier like that. But here you are adding your allowance all around, half inch or everywhere, because that's just your stitching allowance. Or if you like working with 0.375 allowance, please do that. Then I mentioned that you can try to cut out this collar, especially if it will worry you getting the shoulder done like this. You know that the back neckline is going to come like this, yeah. This paper would tear if I try to force it, but you already know how to go about sewing it. It's so easy to sew. And leaving the collar like that, I highly recommend it. Like I already said, I recommend that. But if it will disturb you about the shoulder, joining the two shoulders, like the front and back shoulder, go ahead and cut it out and do it the traditional way we join this kind of collar. You know, when you're working with your blazer, notched collar, the same way you do that. But yeah, if you can maneuver that, I recommend that you just leave it so that you have two pieces of the front pattern, two pieces of the back pattern, and then you go ahead and add your necessary allowance and happy sewing. I hope you found this tutorial very helpful. And if you do, let me know in the comments and I'll be seeing you on my next one.